Some familiar faces make their returns to their former homes, starting with LeBron James back in Cleveland. King James makes his lone visit on January 28th. He's the Cavs' all-time leader in points and helped Cleveland, of course, overcome a 3-1 deficit to win that 2016 championship. Next up is KD leading the Rockets into the Bay to take on the Dubs. Durant was a two-time NBA Finals MVP with Golden State back in 2017 and 2018 before leaving in the 2019 offseason. Durant has won in 3 of the previous 5 trips back to the Bay since that move. And then Anthony Davis will take the court in LA against the Lakers for the first time since being traded last February. Davis, of course, spent 5.5 seasons with the Lakers and was a key member of that 2020 title team in the bubble. And on the other side of that Davis deal, of course, was Luka Doncic. And what was the most shocking move in recent history? Luka will head back to Dallas for the second time since Nico Harrison and company decided to move on from the 26-year-old. He had 45 points the last time he was in the city, where he spent the first 6.5 seasons of his career. In his first return, we saw a very emotional Luka, understandably so. Perk, how do you think round 2 is going to play out?
I mean, I think it's gonna be settled in. He's still gonna want to go at them. Obviously, you always want to go at a team that you know that you played for, that you thought you was gonna be there for long term. But I'm looking at the bigs, right? I think this is a big test for DeAndre Ayton and see where they stand, because you're going against that front line and Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, and Daniel Gafford. So it's definitely going to be must-see TV. Luka is definitely going to have it on his mind, but I'm looking at the bigs and the war down low to see if DeAndre Ayton could fill that gap that the Lakers been missing.
You know, oftentimes with like heralded #1 picks, they got too much hype. I don't think Cooper Flagg is getting enough hype. I think we should be talking about him more. I think he's going to be special, Captain America. He's just going to be something that will make it. You'll never forget about Luka, but they'll make them feel better. And I think he has a chance in this game to steal the headline and have the first major significant moment of his career.
UD, what do you think? How is this going to go over?
I mean, I'm going to take a page out of my late great mother's book, and it's time for Luka to forgive but not forget. You go out there, you put your team in the best position. You've already started the process of being your best version. You've lost the weight. The Lakers put that money in your pocket. You just make sure your team win the game and continue to put the Lakers in the best position to make the playoffs and go from there. At the end of the day, it's real hard for me because I still hold grudges from middle school. But I'm going to say, don't take this one personal, Luka. Just move on, put the Lakers in position. You're the guy in LA for the next few years, man. This might have been the best thing that happened to you. Another thing from my grandmother, a blessing in disguise. Use this to be your best version and build on it.
I think it will be, and I'll say this. We've seen the revenge body. We've seen all the stuff he's done this summer. I think it's time for him to turn the page. He's really leaned into being a Laker this summer. He committed to them. So his story is always going to be about that trade and how he responds to it. And so this game at some point will just be another game. I don't know if we're quite there yet, but it's heading in that direction.
All right, and in case you missed it, Nico Harrison visited Pittsburgh Steelers training camp this week for the... Welcome to NBA Today's schedule release show. I'm Vanessa Richardson in for Malika Andrews. 1,200 games are on the slate this season, and we've gone through and pulled out the best of the best. Opening night sets the tone. Kevin Durant returns to Oklahoma City, of course, back where it all began, as SGA and the Thunder raise their banner on ring night against the Rockets. Then the stage shifts to LA, where Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler lead the Warriors into a primetime battle with LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers. And that's just the beginning. For the 24th straight season, ESPN and ABC bring the NBA to center stage with some of the most electric matchups of the year. Circle January 24th right now. ABC's got a triple header worthy of the spotlight. Joel Embiid invades the Garden to face Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. Then it's a Western Semis rematch. Steph Curry versus Anthony Edwards. And of course, the nightcap. We're going to have Anthony Davis back in LA. How about that, where he spent 6 years? That's a good one. Jump to February 21st. The Rockets' revamped roster heads into the Garden, where Kevin Durant has been at his best throughout his career, averaging 31 points per game in the Mecca. The very next day, another ABC showcase. Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs meet SGA and the reigning champs. And Nikola Jokic takes the Nuggets to the Bay for a heavyweight clash with the Warriors. Oh, March 1st. This is going to be a good one. Wemby under the Garden lights. Remember, he dropped 42 there on Christmas. 2 weeks later, a Western Conference Finals rematch. Anthony Edwards and the Wolves return to OKC to battle the Thunder once again. Got it? Good. 237 games will be on national television this season, but one of the biggest questions every year, who's got the most? Lucky for you, we counted. We have the list here of all the top 10 teams with the most national TV games. The Thunder, Lakers, Warriors, and Knicks all lead the way with 34. Following them are the Houston Rockets and Nuggets with 28 apiece. And below them are the Celtics, Cavs, and Mavericks. So many games to get through, but luckily, we've got you covered. And who better to break it all down than senior writer Ramona Shelburne? We've got Hall of Famer Mark Spears and a pair of NBA champions in Udonis Haslem and Kendrick Perkins. So we're going to dive right in because we got a lot to talk about. 34 national television games for the Lakers, Warriors, Thunder, and Knicks. But Perk, which team is the must-watch team of the entire 2025-2026 season?
You smell that? You smell that? I can smell it because I'm down here. Damn it, the Trill Burgers are cooking. They got an easy money burger. That's that Trill Burger right now. The Houston Rockets, who made the most powerful move this offseason by getting Kevin Durant. You already have Baby Jokic and Afro Şengün down there putting up that work, what he does in the paint. Amen Thompson is good for 2 to 3 highlights athletically every single night. And KD, a walking bucket, an artist, a magician. With the pieces they already have, Jabari Smith, every single night is going to be must-see TV when it comes to the Rockets on both ends of the floor. Ime Udoka is even going to give you some action every now and then because we know he like to get into the action and beef. The Houston Rockets are going to be the most watched team this upcoming season, in my opinion.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you, Big Perk. As much as I want to go against y'all Texas boys, I got to agree with you 1,000%. Great Pat Riley told me. Yeah, 1,000%, bro. The great Pat Riley told me no rebounds, no rings. This team was the top rebounding team in the league last year. He also told me defense don't guarantee anything, but without it, you don't have a chance. This team defended at a high rate. They got the defense, they got the rebounding, they got the coaching. The only thing they needed was a go-to guy down the stretch. So damn it, you go get the best go-to guy down the stretch that you can get in the game today. So now you fill that gap. I'm interested to see what this team does. You go get Dorian Finney-Smith. You keep your core together with Jabari Smith. You extend him. You got Amon Thompson coming back. You go get 3 centers. You got Şengün who can go get that work down there in the post. You got Capella who can go get those lobs. And you got Adams who beat the hell out of people on the boards. They addressed all weaknesses this offseason. I'm looking forward to watching them boys play too. I'm with you on that, Perk.
I don't know if I'm just nostalgic or because Steph's coming towards the last couple years of his career, but guys, to me, it's the Warriors. Do you remember how good they were when Jimmy Butler was traded when Jimmy Butler came over and traded? They're 23-7 after Jimmy Butler came over in that trade from the Miami Heat. Now, Steph got hurt in the playoffs, and they obviously didn't go as far as they wanted to go. But I want to see the Warriors back in action with Jimmy Butler with a full training camp. They were so good with him on that roster before Steph hurt that hamstring. And I know the Kuminga situation has dragged on all summer. It's gotten kind of ugly, but I expect him to be back on the team. And even if he isn't, Steph and Jimmy together have been great. And so I want to see how they come right out of the gates because the last few years they haven't started fast, but this year they have the potential to build up a nice lead in that West.
Who are the champions, my friend?
That would be the Oklahoma City Thunder.
The last time, you just talked about the Warriors, the last time there was a repeat NBA champion was back in 2018, the Golden State Warriors. It has not happened since. Do these Oklahoma City Thunders have it in them to repeat? Everything changes for them. This is a team that didn't have great expectations. Now they got a championship. Now everybody comes in with a ring. They are known for their humility, but does that change? I remember in 2010, 9-10 season after the Lakers won, right?
Remember.
I mean, everybody knew Kobe had a PR person and Powell did, but all of a sudden DJ Benga and Meta World Peace had a PR person after they won. Yeah. Is that going to be like that for the Thunder? You know, their guys got paid. There's 3 stars or trio. They got up to potentially $800+ million. Do they change? Do they have the same humility? Do they have the same fight? Do they have the same kumbaya afterwards, after games, putting their arms around each other? I have to see it. And if there are cracks early, then this protective egg is going to have cracks that people are going to pay attention to. They are must-watch.
Very interesting. And you know I'm not going to argue with what UD and Perk said about the Houston Rockets. I am surprised no one said the Lakers because only LeBron knows whether or not year 23 is his final year. Let's run through some of his key matchups. LeBron versus Steph will see 4 more chapters added this season. The first meeting coming opening night, of course, October 21st. The two will also meet on February 7th, the 3-year anniversary of LeBron James coming to all-time leading scorer in NBA history. LeBron will also renew his career-long rivalry with the Boston Celtics 2 times in the regular season. LeBron will visit the Boston on December 5th, while the Celtics will travel to LA for a second matchup on February 22nd. The kid from Akron returns home. This is going to be a big one to his beloved fans on January 28th for what could be his final trip there. James has averaged 31 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists in Cleveland as an opponent throughout his career. And lastly, LeBron will visit the Mecca of basketball at Madison Square Garden on February 1st. In his career, James has averaged
some of his best years. And also, that game last year is the game after they made the Luka Doncic trade.
Yeah.
Remember they played the Knicks in Madison Square Garden? It was a big game, and then all of a sudden, boom! Walk out of the post-game locker room, there's that trade.
Speaking of the Garden, we know that players across the league want their moment at the world's most famous arena. And this is where you can catch some of the All-Stars schedule right there. Ant-Man leads off the Garden Party, facing Cat and company in early November. And then Giannis, Ice Tray, Katie, Steph all get their shot at the Knicks. So I'm going to go to UD on this one. UD, the Knicks have the second shortest odds to win the East behind the Cavs, of course, and have the 3rd easiest strength of schedule in the league. What do you think is the Knicks' biggest challenge this season?
I'm going to go back to last year, and I'm going to go with them boys out of Detroit, the bad boys. Detroit basketball. Listen, I'm telling you, if Detroit wins Game 3 in Detroit, which they very well could have and should have, then we could be having a whole different conversation about how the playoffs went through last year. If you're a team like Detroit, a young team, you feel like you got slighted, you feel like you should have been in that spot, you do not forget about those moments. I feel like the Detroit Pistons have something going on. They're focused on getting back next year. Obviously, they brought in Duncan Robinson. I love Duncan Robinson. I love how he opens up Cade Cunningham. Duncan Robinson pulls triggers for Cade. Defenses overreact by the way he moves in his motor. I'm looking at the Detroit Pistons. I'm saying, everybody's saying, oh, the East is wide open. Oh, the New York Knicks. Oh, Boston is unhealthy. No, the Detroit Pistons sit right there saying, don't worry about it. We're going to be right there.
I'm looking forward to seeing Mike Brown on the side.